I grew up with ramen as the instant snack most Americans are familiar with. But today, ramen is so much more than that. It's innovation in a bowl. And I'm on a slurp-filled adventure across the country to meet some of the renegade chefs behind this movement. The ultimate Japanese comfort food has taken the American food scene by storm. Before I head west, I'm visiting ramen master Ivan Orkin for a sneak peek at his new shop. A self-defined Japanophile, Ivan did the unheard of when he became one of the first Westerners to open a ramen shop in Tokyo. If you know ramen, you know of Ivan.
Hey!
Hi, Ivan.
Good to see you.
Good timing on my part.
Come on in.
Thank you.
So this is the first time cooking in my kitchen.
Can't believe that.
And the first time I've ever showing anybody my kitchen.
Well, I'm honored.
Yeah.
What's it like opening a restaurant in New York versus in Tokyo?
Can I use the word hellish?
Yes.
It's very different. It's very complex. It's not like this in Japan. You get a hot plate, you put a little cardboard sign that says open.
Well, I'm curious how you got into ramen cuisine. I mean, you're a classically trained French chef.
Right.
You studied at the CIA.
Yep.
You worked for people like Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Why ramen?
Well, when I moved to Tokyo in 2003, the ramen boom was just starting to gain steam. I knew that I would probably get a lot of attention because I'm a white guy making ramen in Tokyo, which is it's kind of a goof.
Right.
My wife wrote a letter to the main ramen reviewer, and she said, I just went to this ramen shop, and it's run by a white guy from America, and it was pretty good. He came the next day. And he said, well, I was walking to your restaurant from the train station. I was writing your bad review in my head, you know? But then he said, I walked in, and when the guy was watching me, he was like, wow, this guy's pretty serious. And he liked the ramen.
Right. What do you want to bring of your ramen to New York?
I sort of tweaked a lot of what I do there for here, but I would never take a dish from either place and just try to pick it up and bring it and do it. I would always go and then source new ingredients and redo it. It's really about the idea. If you go to any ramen shop in America, whether you're in West Des Moines or in New York, you get what I call the sushi bar salad. Iceberg lettuce with little strands of carrot and a ginger carrot dressing.
Right.
It almost always looks like it's gonna taste terrible, and it almost always tastes pretty good. And so I thought it'd be fun to have something like that. So this is just your really super simple dressing that we're gonna make. Put some rice wine vinegar in there, ginger and carrots and canola oil, and then a little garlic oil and honey, and seasoning and salt and stuff.
Do you usually use recipes and measure ingredients, or you just kind of do what feels right?
I do everything from recipes.
Do you?
Yes. There's a famous story about ramen shops. They'll say, in the afternoon, it always tastes different than the evening, and on Saturdays, it's the best, and Sundays never go, and people know it. And the idea of someone saying, well, Ivan ramen is delicious, but never go at night,
Right.
would break my heart. Okay, so we're gonna take this guy, and we're gonna...
That was exciting.
Now all the hoity-toity chefs are think iceberg's like the greatest thing ever.
This looks really beautiful.
So this is our red onion pickle. I've taken some of these really cool shrimp and I've dried them out so you have another sort of texture in the dressing. And then jam that bad boy right in there. I love my own food.
All right, so what do I do? Just mix it all up, or what's the proper way to eat ramen?
All right, so I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
Pull that bad boy out.
Let me try that slurp.
Got it, slurp, slurp, up, you're feeding. Not bad.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Arigato.
Inspired by some amazing dishes in NYC, my ramen journey takes me across the country to Oakland, California. Ramen shop run by 3 dedicated ramen lovers who all worked at the legendary Chez Panisse restaurant. Known for fueling the farm-to-table movement, have been creating what they call California ramen, and I had to investigate.
Danielle, welcome to the Berkeley Farmers Market.
It looks incredible here.
Ever since we've opened, every Saturday morning we come here, as well as most other chefs from all the restaurants in the Bay Area.
This is incredible. So you get most of the ingredients that you use.
Yeah, all of our produce, our eggs as well.
So what's in season today? What are you looking for?
I always do like a once up and down and kind of just look what they have. For instance, these are French breakfast radishes.
Oh.
Shave them, pickle them.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I've never seen purple cauliflower like this before.
Yeah, you just walk up and down and whatever catches your eye, and this catches your eye. We pretty much are taking what we feel has the best flavor from every stand and utilizing that in our dishes. This is the only stand where you can get this type of scallion in the Bay Area.
Really?
Yeah, all other farms are trying to duplicate it, but none as beautiful or as delicate as this. It's persimmon season.
I love persimmons, but how do you use it in ramen?
Well, we use it with our miso ramen. Miso itself tends to be rather salty. So a lot of people will add stuff like sake and mirin to sweeten it up. We like to use fruits. And what we do is essentially make a puree with this, Asian pears. We have carrots, onions, and it's almost like this savory applesauce. Can we get that one flat of the Asian pears, please?
Absolutely.
Great.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. We gotta get back to the shop.
Right in the heart of where I live in New York City, on the borders of historic Chinatown and Little Italy, ethnic boundaries are today being blurred. But Manhattan's Chinatown has been constantly redeveloping itself over the past 150 years. Today, I'll be exploring my neighborhood with a fresh perspective, and we'll meet with a new generation who has successfully revived the past while simultaneously creating the future. And in the historic West Village, get ready for some Peking duck with the renowned Jewish restaurateur. And finally, stopping in Times Square to visit the global kitchens of Hakkasan, serving high-end contemporary Cantonese cuisine. As I head south towards historic Chinatown, the scenery quickly changes. The result is a shrinking Little Italy as an expanding Chinatown slowly redefines its geographic borders. New York Mart, a bustling Asian market that opened in recent years, is where I can find everything from roasted meats, seafood, rice cakes, and fresh yet cheap Asian vegetables.
So this is New York Mart. It's my local neighborhood food market where I come and shop as much as I can for my family. This is kind of an all-in-one stop shop for Asian food. You know, even though we're in Chinatown, you really have shoppers who come here from all around the city, especially those who know a good value. And I have to say my favorite part of Asian markets is all of these packaged goods. Dried squid, seaweed snacks, salted plums, dried ramen noodles. Love all this different type of tofu. These are puffed tofu balls that are actually fried. You can just pop on top of your soup. These are some of the spiciest and best chili peppers. So if you're a Szechuan pepper freak, this whole line of chili peppers is really addictive.
Walking through the heart of Chinatown, I always feel like I'm going back in time. Doyer Street, one of the original blocks, is home to Nom Wah Tea Parlor, one of America's oldest dim sum joints. Third-generation owner Wilson Tang, who's revived it, has one foot in the past and one foot in the future.
This tea parlor has been here since 1920, but you've really rewritten its history in a way when you took over. Tell me what you wanted to preserve and what you wanted to change.
Sure. Well, what we did was we changed the format of dim sum, where traditionally it's a brunch kind of lunch dining. We had a campaign for dim sum for dinner. You know, my folks thought I was crazy, but I, for some reason, thought it would work, and it worked.
Well, I know that you're also involved in Feng Tu on Orchard Street. I'm on my way to Feng Tu, and I'm just walking down Orchard Street now and cannot believe how much change there's been on this little block. You know, this is formerly Jewish immigrant territory, and now I see Chinese language everywhere. And then you have a mash of great coffee shops and art galleries. It's Just interesting new, smaller boutiques that are popping up. It's just a neighborhood in transition.
Wilson arranged for me to meet his chef partner from Fung Tu, who's a third-generation Chinese-American who neither speaks Chinese nor has ever cooked Chinese professionally. Yet he's been inspired to meld his culinary skills with his Chinese heritage to create a new breed of contemporary Chinese cuisine.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you,
Danielle.
chef?
We're getting ready for service, and I could use your help. Fortunately, I've got this apron here, and we can put you to work.
You really want me to?
Absolutely, yes. There you go.
I have to cook for my supper?
Yeah, that's how we do around here.
Are you sure?
You can earn your keep.
Well, I don't mind hanging out with all you guys here.
We got an hour to service. Let's get to work.
All right, what can I do?
All right, so I'll have you peel these eggs.
Okay.
So-
These are 1,000-year-old eggs, right?
Yes, they are. They're chemically cooked. It's almost like caramelization.
Is there like an ancient Chinese secret to peeling it?
No, it's pretty straightforward. There's definitely not a secret to doing it. The idea is to have a nice, smooth paste at the end.
What is this?
That is celtus. It's a really unique vegetable that has
Yeah.
a unique flavor.
Soy sauce makes everything taste yummy. It's delicious. What's next? I'm starving.
Pick it up and sort of rotate the pan so that you can try and...
Come on, egg. Come on, egg.
Basically, it's just like a little burrito. We use something that we affectionately call Chinese crazy glue. It's a mixture of flour and water.
No, your cuisine is totally personal and innovative. It seems like you're really not following any rules when you're cooking.
Just make it taste good. Why don't you go out the dining room and I'll meet you out there. And
Are you kicking me out of the kitchen?
basically.
Well, I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Olivia sparked my curiosity to investigate further. First, I head to Ecopia Farms, run by two Asian American gentlemen working to change the face of farming.
This farm will use 3% of water a normal farm would use, and we use 4% of the area.
I knew this wasn't a typical farm, but now I'm beginning to understand. It just might be farming of the future.
You two seem like best friends. How did you meet?
Well, I applied at Lockheed, and lo and behold, Sam hired me. And that's how we started. He was a first-line supervisor, and I went on to graduate from San Jose State with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and I worked with Sam for about 3-4 years, and this is where we parted. He went on to aerospace, and I went into the computer industry at IBM. And after we retired, we looked at a project farming in the Middle East. And when that project fell through, we still thought this was a very good project we could do in California.
What is your vision for this farm?
What we would like to do locally here is to complement the local farmers. So our job is to grow produce that they can't produce at the time of the year that they can't produce it.
I see.
And this way, we can basically satisfy the customers in a way that no other farmer can satisfy.
So Sam, what has your professional path been like?
I started at San Jose State, and my father wanted me to go to Stanford. My father, as an immigrant, came to this country and started as a gardener in a large estate. He wanted me to take some agricultural classes because he says, I want you to become a smart farmer. So I says, if I'm going to go to college, I want to get away from a farm as far as possible.
Right.
So I went into space. Well, guess what now? He's up in heaven, and I'm on the ground. I'm back on the farm again.
That is a fascinating story. When you grew up in Silicon Valley, it wasn't even known as Silicon
That's right.
Valley. It was just a valley and farmland and
That's
peach
right.
orchards.
That's right.
Now we're in the home of Apple computers.
Yes.
You know, my favorite tofu product is actually the tofu skin.
Right.
Do you guys make that here?
We make yuba here, and I'll show you how to make it. Yuba is essentially the cream of soy milk. So as long as you have a really good soy milk, the sheet will form by itself. You ready to harvest some yuba?
I sure am.
All right, let me show you how it's done.
Okay.
Okay, so first we have to separate the edges. So once I basically separate it, I want to make sure it's not stick to the sides. And then I'm pinching it in the middle and I'm lifting it up like that.
Ooh, so pretty.
There you go, a sheet of yuba.
Let me try it. Wow.
When you cut, you can cut super fast. There you
Right. It looks really delicate, but it's not as fragile as it looks,
go. I
right?
think you made a very good point. It's actually a very pliable and strong sheet. So you don't have to treat it with too much delicacy at all. Want to do another one?
Yeah, that was fun.
There you go.
Yours is a little prettier than mine.
It's okay.
But
It
I got this
took years of practice. Oh, it's okay. And then you fold it like that and let it rest.
Ming Sai is a first-generation Vietnamese American. He left banking to pursue a career that was more personally meaningful, to introduce tofu to a wider public. I am always amazed by the power of food and its ability to bring people together. And through new technologies or the transformation of corporate culture, the power of sharing a meal together definitely creates exciting new paths for the future.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you so much.
Happy travels, happy feasting.